City lights are fading slow outside my window tonight. I should be sleeping, but you're running through my mind. Every little thing reminds me of your smile somehow, and I keep replaying every moment now. You don't even know the way you changed my world, with a single look, with a single word. Now the silence feels different than before, since you walked into my life and opened that door. I don't know where this is going, but I know what I'm feeling tonight. I've been thinking of you every hour, every moment I do. When the moon hangs low and the city sleeps, you're the only thing that's keeping me awake. I've been thinking of you like a song that keeps playing on loop, and I smile when your name comes through mine. I've been thinking of you tonight. The radio is playing soft in the background now, but every love song sounds a little like us somehow. I wonder if you're staring at the same sky too, thinking about me the way I'm thinking about you. Maybe it's crazy, maybe it's new, maybe I'm falling deeper than I wanted to, but every heartbeat keeps leading me away, and I don't really want it any other way. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but right now you're all I need. I've been thinking of you every hour, every moment I do. When the moon hangs low and the city sleeps, you're the only thing that's keeping me awake. I've been thinking of you like a song that keeps playing on loop, and I smile when your name comes to mind. I've been thinking of you tonight. If I could send a message through the midnight air, I'd tell you that I wish you were here. Not because I'm lonely, but because everything feels better when you're near. I've been thinking of you every hour, every moment I do. When the stars burn bright above the avenue, I keep finding pieces of you everywhere. I've been thinking of you, and I hope you've been thinking too, 'cause this feeling keeps growing inside. I've been thinking of you tonight. Ooh, yeah, I've been thinking of you tonight. Only you tonight. Ooh, I've been thinking of you tonight. We've been talking for years, like nothing could ever change. Same old coffee shop seats, same old jokes, same old names. You steal fries from my plate, I pretend that I didn't care. Never crossed my mind before how the sunlight caught your hair. Now I'm looking a little longer at the details I miss somehow. Funny how a heart can wake up after all this time around. Maybe you've always been this beautiful. Maybe I'm just seeing it now. And those freckles on your face, they've never looked so beautiful. Little constellations I could trace, every single one unforgettable. I've known you forever, but tonight feels different somehow. me falling without a sound. You were laughing at something I can't even remember now. 'Cause all I could think about was how your eyes lit up somehow. Every story that you've told me, every late night drive we shared, suddenly they're worth a little more than I ever knew back then. Now every memory is changing, like a song I've heard before. Same melody, different meaning, and I'm hearing something more. Maybe you've always been this beautiful. Maybe I was just too blind. And those freckles on your face, they've never looked so beautiful. Little constellations I could trace, every single one unforgettable. I've known you forever, but tonight feels different somehow. I've been calling you my friend, but I don't think that's enough now. Those freckles on your face got me falling without a sound. What if nothing really changed? What if it was always there, hidden underneath the years, waiting patiently somewhere? And maybe every little moment was leading me to this, to the way you're looking at me now, to the feeling I can't resist. Those freckles on your face, they still look so beautiful. Little constellations lighting up everything I thought I knew. I've known you forever, but I want forever still. Now there's someone standing next to you, but the one who's holding you. Those freckles on your face made me see you differently. Those freckles on your face made me fall in love completely. You walk in like it's nothing, like you don't change the room. The sunlight finds your smile, and suddenly it's afternoon. We're talking like we always do, about the same old things, but every little word from you feels different than it seems. I laugh a little too hard at every joke you make, and I wonder if you notice all the chances that I take. 'Cause every time you're close to me, my heart forgets how to behave. Maybe someday you'll see me the way I see you now. Maybe someday you'll hear everything I'm too afraid to say out loud. Till then I'll keep these feelings hidden underneath my smile. Maybe someday you'll love me too, but I'll stay here for a while. But I'll stay here for a while. You tell me about somebody, and I try to play it cool, but jealousy is hard to hide when you're trying not to look like a fool. I memorize the little things, the songs you always play, the coffee that you order, and the words you always say. Sometimes I think you feel it too, in the silence that we share. Then you look away so casually, and I'm left wondering if it's there. 'Cause every time you say my name, it sounds like hope to me. Maybe someday you'll too afraid to say it out loud. Till then I'll keep these feelings hidden underneath my smile. Maybe someday you'll love me too, but I'll stay here for a while. I don't need a perfect ending, I don't need a fairy tale. I just want one honest moment where my courage doesn't fail. Maybe then I'd finally tell you what I've known all along, that every road I've taken lately somehow leads back to you. Maybe someday you'll see me standing right in front of you. Maybe someday you'll realize nobody's ever loved you like I do. Till then I'll keep on hoping, even if it takes some time. Maybe someday you'll love me too. Maybe someday, maybe someday. I was walking home this evening, taking the same old street again. Nothing special on my mind, just another day like then. Then I saw those empty chairs by the window where we'd stay. One painted yellow, one painted red, and suddenly I lost my way. Not because I didn't know it, but because my thoughts ran back to you. Funny how the smallest things can make the whole world feel brand new. And I couldn't help but smile for no reason anyone could see. 'Cause you crossed my mind again, and somehow everything feels lighter, like the sunlight through the glass, getting warmer, getting brighter. Who would've thought a couple chairs could bring me back to you like this? Yellow and red by the window side, now they're part of every memory. It's funny, you're funny, the way you still make me happy. We would sit there every weekend, talking long after our drinks were gone, watching shadows slowly move, never noticing the time move on. What were we even talking about? I can't remember half of it now, but I remember how you laughed and how that sound could calm me down. The sky would turn from blue to gold, then gold into a deeper shade, and we'd still be sitting there like the evening didn't wanna fade. Maybe that's what I miss the most, those moments that felt so small. 'Cause you crossed my mind again, and somehow everything feels lighter, like the sunlight through the glass, getting warmer, getting brighter. Who would've thought a couple chairs could bring me back to you like this? Yellow and red by the window side, now they're part of every memory. It's funny, you're funny, the way you still make me happy. Sometimes happiness arrives without a warning, without a sound, a color, a street, a passing place, and suddenly you're all around. And every memory of you feels softer than it did before, not because you're here with me, but because you happened at all. You crossed my mind again, and I found myself smiling wider, like those evenings never left, like the sunset still beside us. Yellow and red by the window side, still waiting where we used to be. And every time I pass them by, lately every morning starts with your name still on my mind. Like I never really left you, even after I opened my eyes. I swear I saw you smile again, somewhere between the dark and dawn. And when I reached out for your hand, the dream was already gone. Still I carried that feeling with me through the traffic and the noise. Funny how a single memory can make the whole world lose its voice. I didn't mean to fall this hard, but now you're everywhere I go. Even in my dreams I find you standing underneath the stars. Every road somehow leads back to you, no matter where you are. When the night pulls me under, you're the last thing that I see. Maybe I've fallen too deep this time, 'cause even in my dreams you're with me. Your laugh keeps showing up in places where it shouldn't be. In every song, every window, every quiet part of me. Sometimes we driving nowhere with the radio turned low, talking like we've got forever, watching city lights glow. Then I wake up to the silence, and your side of the world feels far, but somehow my heart keeps finding you, like it already knows where you are. Maybe that's what love feels like, when it's still too new to name. Even in my dreams I find you standing underneath the stars. Every road somehow leads back to you, no matter where you are. When the night pulls me under, you're the last thing that I see. Maybe I've fallen too deep this time, 'cause even in my dreams you're with me. I used to think a dream was only a dream, something that fades with the morning light. But lately every dream feels real enough to stay with me long after the night. And if my heart is telling me the truth, then maybe it's already clear to see. You're not just living in my dreams anymore, you're living somewhere inside of me. Even in my dreams I find you, like a light I can't forget. Every morning when I wake up, you're the feeling that remains. When the night pulls me under, you're the last thing that I see. Maybe I've fallen too deep this time, 'cause even in my dreams you're with me. Yeah, even in my dreams you're with me. I wasn't looking for anybody, just another ordinary night. City lights were passing by me, everything felt quiet, everything felt right. Then you walked into the moment, like a scene I've seen before. And for a second all the noise around me didn't matter anymore. I don't know your name, don't know where you're from, but somehow my heart decided before my mind could come along. It's crazy how a single glance can change the way a night begins. You're just a stranger, but I can't stop thinking about you. Like I've known your smile forever, even though we've never spoken a word. You're just a stranger standing underneath the city lights, but something about the way you looked at me made the whole world feel tonight. Maybe it was how you laughed. Maybe it was how you moved. Maybe it was nothing special. Maybe it was everything to lose. You disappeared into the crowd, like a dream before the dawn. And now I'm left with only questions after you've already gone. Would I recognize you tomorrow? Would you recognize me too? Funny how a moment lasts forever when it belongs to you. I never believed in destiny until that night began. You're just a stranger, but I can't stop thinking about you. Like I've known your smile forever, even though we've never spoken a word. But you're just a stranger standing underneath the city lights. But something about the way you looked at me made the whole world feel alive. And now you're on my mind tonight. Maybe we'll never meet again. Maybe that's the way it goes. But I'd be lying if I said I don't still hope. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, I see that moment once again. And somehow you still feel closer than most people ever did. You're just a stranger, but I can't stop thinking about you. Like I've known your smile forever, even though we've never spoken a word. You're just a stranger, yet somehow you changed my night. And maybe that's what love looks like before it finds a name. You're just a stranger, but I hope you're thinking of me too. I still remember that afternoon, the way the sunlight filled the room. You brushed your hair behind your ear, and somehow everything got clear. We talked about the smallest things, favorite songs and broken dreams. I can't recall the words we said, but I remember how you laughed. And every time you looked my way, I forgot what I was trying to say. Back then we didn't know how fast those days would go. You were my first love, my first reason to stay awake all night. The first name running through my mind when I close my eyes. You were my first love, like summer shining through the trees. I didn't know what love was then, but I knew what you meant to me. Every morning felt brand new, just because I'd see you soon. I'd walk a little slower home, hoping somehow you'd come along. The world was smaller back those days, just schoolyard talks and weekend plans. But somehow every little thing felt bigger when you held my hand. And time moved differently somehow whenever you were around. Back then we had no clue how beautiful it all was. You were my first love, my first reason to stay awake all night. The first name running through my mind when I close my eyes. Maybe that's why I still smile when those memories come around. Not because I want them back, but because they happened at all. Some feelings never really leave, they just become a part of you, like a photograph that fades but never disappears. You were my first love, the first chapter of my heart, the first time I believed someone could feel like home. You were my first love, and though the years have passed us by, whenever I think of those days, I still see the world through your eyes. You were my first love, my first love, my first love. I don't know how it happened. You showed up out of nowhere when conversation turned to midnight, and suddenly you were everywhere. Now every road feels different, every song sounds new somehow, like the world was waiting quietly just to bring me here right now. Sometimes I catch myself smiling for reasons I can't explain, like my heart already knew you long before you knew my name. Maybe some things are written before we ever arrive. Maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde, running through the story of our lives, side by side against the world, like we were always meant to collide. I don't believe in fate too much, but then I look into your eyes and I can't help wondering tonight, maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde. We can talk until the sunrise, never running out of things to say. Hours disappear between us, like time just slips away. You know every side of me, the good, the bad, the in-between, and somehow when you're next to me, everything feels easy. Maybe that's what makes it different, maybe that's what makes it real. Not the fireworks in the movies, but the way you make me feel, like I found something familiar in someone I've never known before. Maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde, running through the story of our lives, side by side against the world, like we were always meant to collide. I don't believe in fate too much, but then I look into your eyes and I can't help wondering tonight, maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde. If I had met you somewhere else, at another place and time, I think I'd still end up beside you, like the stars that made up their minds. Some people spend forever searching for a feeling they can't define, but somehow I found mine in you, and maybe you found yours in mine. Maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde, not because we break the rules, but because I choose you every time, no matter where the road may lead us to. I don't believe in fate too much, but I'm starting to tonight, 'cause every path keeps leading back to you. Maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, maybe we're like Bonnie and Clyde. I walked this road 1,000 times, but it doesn't feel the same tonight. Every street light looks a little brighter, every heartbeat feels a little louder. I got your name inside my pocket, written down 100 different ways. All the things I wanted to tell you are suddenly escaping me. And I keep checking my reflection, like somehow it'll calm me down. But nothing's working, nothing's helping. My feet are barely touching ground. Is this excitement? Is this fear? Why do they feel the same right now? I don't know what to call this feeling. I've searched for every word I know. It's somewhere between flying and falling, somewhere between yes and no. I've never felt my heart move like this. I've never felt so lost and alive. Maybe there isn't a word for this. Maybe that's why it feels so right. There's 100 different futures waiting on the other side. Maybe you'll smile, maybe you'll leave me. Maybe tonight will change my life. But somehow even with the fear here, I wouldn't turn around and go. 'Cause every step is getting closer, feels like where I'm meant to go. The city keeps moving around me, cars and people passing by. But the only thing I notice is the thought of looking in your eyes. Maybe courage isn't fearlessness, maybe it's showing up anyway. I don't know what to call this feeling. I've searched for every word I know. It's somewhere between flying and falling, somewhere between yes and no. I've never felt my heart move like this. I've never felt so lost and alive. Maybe there isn't a word for this. Maybe that's why it feels so right. A few more blocks and I'll be there. A few more breaths before I know this story changes everything. It stays a secret, never told. But even now, before the answer, before I hear what you might say, there's something beautiful about this. The hope I'm carrying today. I don't know what to call this feeling, and maybe I don't need to now. It's the sound of my heart racing every time I think of you. Somehow I've never felt so scared and happy. I've never felt so weak and strong. Maybe there isn't a word for this. Maybe there never was.